y'all. Welcome to episode 133 of Consignment Chats. Girls, how you doing?
Awesome.
Doing good.
I always love to ask y'all that and then hear the playback later. Good, great. Y'all did better this time though. All right. I got us a topic. Are y'all ready to go on a trip? My topic is called Boy Have Things Changed.
Ooh.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to go on a trip. And you two are going to take this trip. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. I want you to get in your little time machines. We're going to go back about 2 years. So back it up. Go back 2 years. Put yourself in your business 2 years ago. All right. Are you mentally there?
Oh,
Yes.
God. I said I'd never go back. What are we doing?
I'm making you go back. I'm sorry, but you're there.
Hey.
Okay. I want to ask you some questions only from your 2 years ago business. Do not cheat and come back to the present because we have not come back yet. 2 years ago only.
Why are my gray hairs still there?
All right. 2 years ago, I want to talk about photography in your reselling business 2 years ago. You both probably had very different spaces. You both probably had very different dreams. I want us to talk about what in your photography part of your reselling business, I want you guys to list some of those must-haves. Sometimes you were able to get them. Sometimes you saved your pennies for them. But to set up your dream photography space, what was on that list or what did you actually get for that space?
Oh, I know exactly, because it took me 9 years to purchase it, to have the space for it, and to have the money to invest back in my photography. And it was my lights and my backdrop. 9 years. Photographed for 9 years without it. I was so excited to get it. It was a game changer 2 years ago for me. And yeah.
All right. Tell us about your setup. And then I'm going to have Samantha talk about some of her dreams of what you must have 2 years ago for photography.
Ghosts of Photography Pass.
Yes,
Ooh,
ghost of photography
spooky. So, all right. Yeah. So I had my male mannequin, my female mannequin on wheels so I could wheel her around and spin her around and dress her. And my male mannequin is on a turntable.
Okay.
Like an old Tupperware, one of those things you put in the middle of your table and you spin it. Yeah. So my guy's on that and I like to spin him around. But then behind my backdrop that I had just bought, we're back 2 years. I just bought the backdrop, which is like a sheet on you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, we've seen it. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my hanging sheet that's on its freestanding thing. I needed a table behind the sheet so I could have like a white table to put things on so that I had the white background. So I had that for all of my hard goods and jewelry and anything else like that, the big shining lights on it. And that's kind of what it looks like.
All right.
Yeah.
Samantha, 2 years ago, what did you have and what did you feel like you really needed to have?
Okay. So 2 years ago, I had anxiety. That's what I had. I had like the biggest ring light there ever was because some YouTuber told me that I had to have this giant ring light that like changed colors and hues and did all this crazy stuff. So I had it, saved and spent money on that. I had same thing. I had multiple mannequins. I think I had 3 standing mannequins, 1 torso tabletop mannequin, and I had a hanging children's mannequin.
You had a whole family.
That's what I was
had a
She's
family of mannequins.
This is what happens, y'all, when we're resellers lonely at home. When we're all alone, we just keep buying mannequins so we can have our friends, right?
My daughter named them.
Yeah, you have to name them.
Doesn't everybody?
Oh, but she named them like she would like tell stories. Like, well, mom was hanging out with Janice last night after dinner and instead of spending time with us, like she would just, she would embellish some things and talk about them like they were real people. Yeah. So I had lots of mannequins. I thought that this entire wall, so at the time it needed to be completely cleared off. There were no storage bins, no inventory, no nothing, except I had a big strip of linoleum. It was literally screwed right there to my wall. It was gray. At the time, I thought it was the best thing in the world because it gave me a solid, stable background. Everything was clean and great. And same thing, Libby, I needed a table underneath. So if I had a mannequin in front of it, my table was gone. If I was doing hard goods, I had a folding table that I put in there so that I could still have my backdrop and my solid, beautiful background. And yeah.
Oh, I forgot about one thing I had was my little tabletop light box.
All right.
I dreamed of a tabletop light box.
So that was one of your dreams, a tabletop you want?
$12. I bought it on Amazon. It gave me the nice white background for jewelry and stuff. I could never get the colors right. It drove me absolutely crazy.
I wanted like the 3x3 setup with the lights on every side and the it would have taken up a huge chunk of this room, but that is what I wanted so bad. Was I wanted to put the majority of my items, plush and all that stuff in there and just have it be the whitest thing you've ever seen in your life.
All right.
But you chose to not displace your family, I'm guessing, is where this came from. Your mannequin family. Okay.
Well, this was
basically I had to keep all my mannequins.
Was her dream at this time in her life. So how much you think something like that was going to set you back? I mean, kind of ballpark.
The one I wanted was like 150 on Amazon. Like that was a good deal on Amazon for the fancy one I wanted. Okay. I was 2 steps away from one of them stand-up ones that you could put the mannequin in because I thought about that for a minute.
And how much would something like that set you back? I mean,
it was a lot more than that. Yeah.
So when you're talking photography 2 years ago, you're talking, all right, lighting, backdrop, different kinds of backdrops. Obviously, there's so many things you can choose from, the full Mama Jamma stand-up thing or the sheet on the frame, right? You needed something to take pictures with. There was a time in the past where you felt you might need a camera, like the best camera that you could have to take professional photos. Yes, Samantha?
So when I first started Consignment, my best friend at the time was starting photography. And she liked to go picking with me, and she would help me like clean out estates if somebody was consigning an estate with me, or we would go to garage sales together. We went on road trips together and went thrifting, and I would help her with her photography and help her like pose people and go to shoots with her if she would come over and help me photograph my consignment. And my God, was that a lot of wasted effort. They were beautiful, but at the same time, like half the sites wouldn't take like the raw image of photography, whatever. Like it was so much effort. And then when I actually went to upload them and do all these like hundreds of things that we'd spent the weekend doing, none of them, like they wouldn't work, or they were wasted, or Facebook just dumbed them down and they looked terrible anyways. So, but I had a professional photographer for one weekend.
All right. Well, hey. You gave it a shot. We always say try things, right? Although you only tried it for 1 week and you didn't stick to the 3-month rule, but we didn't have that 2 years ago. So
I was young and dumb.
That's a more, present thing. That wasn't a past thing. All right. So cameras, proper lighting, backdrop. These are all the things that we think about that we need. Typically multiple lights because you have different angles. You don't want to cast a shadow. There's just so many things that you think about. And then I know for me, I put so much into where and how to create the perfect space so that everything was set up just so. In fact, I'm going to move the camera a little for those that are here. That white wall that's by the door where the mannequins are has a beautiful golden hook That was one of my places. My white wall when we painted this room was going to be my backdrop in this house, and had it all figured out, right? All right.
It had to be perfect.
These are the things you have to have as a reseller. It's just the way it is. And if you can't afford it, you got to save up your earnings, because you have to have this stuff in order to be a successful reseller. You have to.
Nah.
Where's that red flag?
All right. Let's transport ourselves to the present, y'all. Are you ready? We're coming to the now. Here we are. Now I'm going to give it to you straight. Now you're going to hear it. Do you need a backdrop?
Nope.
No. Do you need an expensive camera?
Nope.
Nope. Do you need proper lighting? Yes, of course.
Yeah, to an extent.
That's something you're pretty much always going to need, some kind of proper lighting. Now, for me, the majority of my proper lighting is natural light. I really love windows and natural light. That's typically what I do. I don't have the big ring light I carry around. The only ring light I have is what's right up here. My point in this next few minutes that we're going to discuss, y'all, is stop buying photography crap. I said crap because I was trying to be good, for your reselling business. It is a waste of money. If you're going to do that, just take your yard sale money that you have set aside to go sourcing and go flush it down the toilet.
Ooh, wow.
You don't
Wow.
need any of this stuff. What you need is a phone with a camera. I think nowadays the majority of us have those.
It doesn't even have to be a fancy phone anymore.
No, even your most basic has such a good camera on it that you can use it for this business. Please, for the love of all that is good, do not go out and buy the best of the best next camera. Where I'm going to say the difference is, if you're a YouTuber and that's your jam and that's where you focus on your business more than anything, you might then decide you need something separate for that. I know many YouTubers who do. However, I know many YouTubers who just, again, use their phone. But I do understand in some situations why some go out and buy some of the other product if you're a YouTuber. If you're a reseller on these other, please don't. Please don't.
Always make sure if you're going to buy something, put the 3-month rule in place. Do you really need it? And can your business support it? If you feel there's something you must have, wait 3 months and make sure your business can pay for it with cash on hand. Not it'll pay for itself. That's not a great philosophy.
I got you. Yeah. Here is one thing that I think is, we just talked about this. It's always necessary to have decent lighting. Now, most things nowadays you can edit and give better lighting to something that has poor lighting or poor color. Before our house was remodeled, a lot of our lights cast yellow, and it used to drive me utterly insane. That was my biggest thing when remodeling this house, more than even picking out my appliances, was I want white casting, natural white light coming out of all my light bulbs. And they did, and it made a huge difference. Now, I'm not saying go do that if you can't do that. There are other ways around that. Windows are wonderful. I love a natural light window. However, if you live in Seattle, you might not be able to do a lot of photography, because in Seattle, it rains a lot and it's cloudy. In Olympia, Washington, I know, family there. You're not going to have a lot of photography days. Here, I do have some times where I'm like, it's not a good photography day. Let me focus on something else, because I chose not to go buy the extra lighting. Now, there are days I wish I did buy the extra lighting, but I found personally, it took me a lot longer trying to figure out how to adjust the lighting just so it didn't look weird and it wasn't casting a shadow one way or the other, or it didn't make it look discolored and black pants looked white and blue and whatever. That it's just easier to do it natural lighting and then hit the edit on the phone and make it a little brighter and hit the warmth and take a little yellow out of it. And oh my gosh, now it looks exactly like the object sitting on my table. And it took me 2 seconds. Okay, maybe 45, but literally under a minute, you can do that, under a minute.
Well, and things are so plentiful now. Like when I bought the big fancy ring light, I didn't even know what a ring light was. And then some YouTuber said, buy this giant one. It's on our list. Follow the link or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I have to have that. And my mom actually bought the first one for me, spent a ridiculous amount of money, and it broke like a couple months later. We had to buy another one. But now, so I have a ring light here, which is still, it's too big. It's bright. It's obnoxious. I have this one. Now I don't have very good light in here, and this light up here is super yellow. So that's why I have this.
Yep.
My niece decided that she needed this for Instagram or TikTok or some dumb thing in middle school. And then after that fad was done, she didn't need this anymore. So she said, Aunt Sam, can you consign it for me? And I said, better yet, here's $40. Thank you. Have a good day. And she was pumped. It was great. Boom. I got this fancy light. That's really all I need to make sure that I have light in here. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the vivid setting on the iPhone photography. Do you guys use on the iPhone? Do you guys use that at all?
I use portrait some. I don't use vivid often. No.
So vivid in the color settings, it distinguishes. One of the main problems I have with photography was the distinction between silver and gold when photographing like fine chains and jewelry and stuff. And that vivid setting, whoo, amazing. Free.
I feel like
done.
I'm in vivid right now with this. So that would, yeah.
All right. Are you ready for my next one? We need to talk about backdrops because this is my big one. Stop it. Stop it. Samantha's got a wall. If you got a wall, have a wall. Please, again, love of all that is good. Do not go out and buy something. You know why? If you're going to pay money on anything to help your photography part of your reselling business or consignment business, photo room. Photo room. It is an app. Put it on your phone. You can do the free one. It doesn't matter what it's going to do. If you do the free is have a little photo room thing on the bottom. Who gives a flying whatever?
Yep.
Take the free one. Use it. I am showing you examples right now that are going to pop up of things that I have taken, y'all. I take pictures of items that I sell in the most random spots. I take them with 1,000 items behind them, literally all kinds of color behind them. I have taken them in a car on my hand while my husband's driving down the interstate, and I had sourced a bunch of sunglasses, put them on my hand in the car and took pictures of them and had them listed before I got home because I had photo room.
Yes.
It's all you need. Your background, it don't matter. It don't matter. We interrupt this program to bring you Photo Room. As you see, I take a picture of a very busy shirt with a very busy background, patterns everywhere. Open up Photo Room, hit create, find my picture, pull it up. Photo Room scans it, takes out the background. I see a few spots it missed, so I'm not happy. So I open it up and I click the edit, go in, hit the erase, and then I take 2 fingers and drag it up and erase what I don't want. Then I hit the add and add a spot where I want it, where I feel like it took away from the bright lines. And then I'm done, and I hit done, and then I go to the save image, and ta-da, there it is. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now back to our program.
Now, what about if you're using this as an excuse as to why not to get started? We've all met a couple people as to saying, I need the perfect setup. I need the light box. I need the backdrop. I need the blah, blah, blah. I don't have the...
No.
All it is an excuse.
This is what I'm saying. I don't care if you've been working this job for 20 years or you're just starting. You don't need any of it. If there's stuff in your way right
that
now,
excuse right out of the water. Anybody listening that has been using this as an excuse, take it off your list. Find a new one.
nope. It's no good anymore, y'all. It doesn't work. You've got a phone. I know your phone has a camera. You've got natural light. The only thing I'm going to give you anything for is if you decide to buy extra lighting, I'm going to let you slide with that. That is the one thing I will give somebody. Now,
But you should
mannequins-
not be spending a bunch of money or get big bulky ones or things that are going to take up half your room or
No,
none of that.
don't do it.
Big Lots has ring lights for like $10. They work great. They work great. That's it.
Nothing frustrates me more than these big elaborate setup people doing for their, no, stop it.
I can't wait to get rid of mine. I waited 9 years to get it. And now with my move, I can't wait to get rid of it.
Right?
And now I can't even sell it to any of our sea chatters because
I just ruined that for y'all.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You technically have a week till this comes out. I would get on that.
You got 1 week to get it sold, Libby. Because y'all, this is just a big pet peeve for me. Photography is one of my favorite parts of reselling business. In fact, it is one of my favorite parts of life. I have always been a photography freak from itty bitty on, something I got from my father, and I love it. So I am very passionate about it. And I'm also passionate about you saving money. And anybody in this business, I think we're all passionate about saving money. That's why we're in the business. Environment, save money. Those are our two biggest things, right? You got to think of these things. So that's why I wanted to have this little rant episode today about how things have changed and what is actually necessary in 2023 to take a good picture. Even a mannequin. Sam just pulled her mannequin up.
Is that Janice?
So, this is Janice. She's the only one I have. She's the only one I have left. I got rid of the whole rest of the family.
The whole family's gone. Just Janice.
Oh, almost an empty nester.
Yeah. So I have behind me here my guy. I got Perky Patty, my plus size model, and then I have a regular size. I have 3. I bought the half wall ones from a business going out of sale. I've never used them. I don't know why I bought them. I've never used them. In fact, I need to sell them. I will keep a mannequin only because I have them now. So I'm not going to get rid of them. If you're just starting your business, you can flat lay, you can wall hang. Samantha's got one there. I had the golden hook up here. I used to do flat. Sometimes things are just better flat.
99% of my things, I literally I take them off of the hanger here or off the rack here and I hang it and I take pictures and then I lay it here to measure and then that's it. It's done. It's done. This, now I use her 1% of the time and only when they're really weird things. Like this one has the things in the back and then this is wide open.
Oh, Janice.
I know. She's
Saucy little number.
When this was hanging, it looked really weird and you couldn't tell what it was. So I could have figured it out. If that was all I had, I probably would have laid her on my table and just did it flat lay like that. But since I have the mannequin, I use it. But like $30 on Amazon. Don't go crazy. Reach out to other people. Ask on Facebook, the Nextdoor app, whatever. And I had like 5 because people kept giving them to me.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And like you get them, businesses going out, businesses that are going under, sadly, and closing the doors. They've got stuff. You can usually get mannequins for great deals. There's so many places to get them. Look for yard sales. You don't have to go out and buy a brand new one. I don't
and you
think
never have to own one. Like you never have to own
You
one.
never have to own one.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
No.
So there's my rant. There's my rave, y'all. What do we need for photography? A good background removal app. I say Photo Room because I use it. I love it. By the way, Photo Room has the batching option. Beautiful. You can take all your 12 or 24 pictures, however many you take of your item. You go in there and you hit batch and you check all of them and boop, takes a background out of all of them. Done.
If you use List Perfectly, which many of you do, List Perfectly has a beautiful integration. I believe I think in all of their things, but when you go higher up, the more you get per month of how many pictures you can do. But all their plans have an integration with Photo Room. You can do white backgrounds, you can do colored backgrounds, you can do it all right in on your phone or on a computer, either way.
Either way, boom, like that. If you are not a List Perfectly user, by the way, we've got it. We've got a code for you. So if you decide you want to use List Perfectly, we do have a code. Please do not sign up for any kind of software without chatting with us first, because we've always got somewhere, I'm sure, a discount code or somebody who knows one. Again,
It often comes with extra special service when we
Yes.
refer you.
yes,
People kind of like us.
it's just a
We're
thing.
kind of a big deal.
It's just a thing. I don't know.
Oh my
Woo,
God.
y'all, I feel so much lighter getting that off my chest. This is
That
something.
was really something. Wow. I like when you go on these little rants. This has been
My
fun.
pet peeve. I mean, this is beyond being on a soapbox. This is like a soap tower. Like our mountain ranges, soap tower. We got to have a dramatic side of everything, don't we? Like
Yes,
the
yes,
extra.
absolutely.
Got to go extra everywhere.
You've been holding that in for a couple hours.
It's not a couple of hours. I've been holding this in for a year now. Ever since I put photo read on my app,
Yeah.
on my phone,
true.
I have been just, why is anybody buying any damn thing for photography?
Now, that being said, if the good people out there, if you have an issue with your software, give it a day. There was one time when Molly was like, "Fuck, it's not working. I hate it. Why did I ever do this? Why is it part of my thing?" And it worked by that afternoon, and all was right in the world. But just make sure to give everything a little bit of grace.
Samantha's public service announcement.
And we
Good morning.
thank you for that public service announcement popping in the end, because it is true. And that is exactly how I was. I was beside myself when it wasn't working. Now it's like bionic photo room for me. And it just like throws 20 in a batch like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I do them right on my phone. I take pictures, do it right on my phone, hit share, airdrop it to my computer, slap it right into the listing. Boom, done.
I do it
And
on my
listed,
phone.
it can't sell unless it's listed. We
Amen.
say, all right, what if you're looking at a photo and you're just not sure how it came out? It's better listed than non-listed. But what's the next test you kind of run it through? Would you buy this item? Pull it
my
up
favorite.
on your
My
phone.
favorite.
Take a look at it.
That's my favorite.
Do you
That's
want to
what-
tell the origin story of that little rule?
About would you buy this item?
Yes.
Okay, so back in the storefront, many years in the back, we'd have to take the time.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, we'd have to travel back in our time machine much further.
Ooh.
Libby had her storefront. Yeah, those wrinkles, those angry 11 wrinkles aren't there.
Oh.
And my gray, yeah. Anyway, 10 years ago, when we were in the storefront, we would have meetings like we do, only we do ours on Zoom, but we would have staff meetings that Libby would hold in the evening after we closed, and we would talk about things. And so different people would take photographs, and I ran the internet part of the business. So I would use them for listings. And
I
have-
think this might have been your first photography rant now that I'm thinking about it. This is
might have started-
your
This is the
origin
origin
story.
story,
Yes.
Yeah, this is where the door opened. And I go to list because people would take pictures and all in this, other employees, but they would all come to me to go in the listing and I had a couple that could do partial listing and I would turn it live. Well, I get this listing and it is of a size, 26 pants on a hanger, on the wall, on a normal size hanger. To say it looked heinous is being kind.
I can still picture them. They were tan. They
Oh
were
my gosh.
tan crop pants.
It was the most god awful thing.
They're not
It-
flattering to
like,
begin with.
No, I mean, I'm a plus size girl, y'all, and I like to find a good but that right there, seeing it set out like that, it made me cringe. Like I was like, oh my God. And if they fit me, I'll feel horrible about myself if those fit me. Horrible.
Did they have a baggy butt?
A bag of 3 butts.
Oh,
Oh,
Three
it's that
baggy
baggy butt gets it for me every time. Just
It was so awful. I took that picture and at the staff meeting, I held it out and let everybody see it. And I looked at everybody and I said, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm wanting you all just to think about this.
I'm pointing my whole hand.
Hold 2 hands or holding this out. Would you buy these pants? Would you buy them? Look at this picture and tell me honestly, would you buy these pants? And everybody, like Libby did, just started laughing and went, no.
It was so awful.
No.
All
I
right.
feel the
Back to the
same
present.
about
Back to the present.
I feel the same about people putting their toes in shoes. Please do not try to sell me a pair of shoes that your feet are in. I don't want to see a picture of that. I know
Neither, but for some reason, Molly still sends them to me when she finds them. It's great.
I do because I love to just push buttons. It makes me, I'm just like, I can't believe people do it. And a lot of times they're all janky and not like they need a pedicure and their polish is chipping. I'm like, what, dude, what makes you think somebody's going to buy those shoes? I'm okay buying pre-owned shoes. I know there are people in the world that don't think it's gross. I'm okay with it. There's nothing that a spray of Lysol or vodka water won't clear up, and you can wear those shoes just fine. Wear them, buy them. But I am never buying a pair of shoes that's got a picture in it of somebody's foot. Unless you are a paid foot model, not on one of those creepy websites. I mean, in Vogue magazine paid model foot that somebody's got your toes insured. I don't want to see it.
Wow, this has really just taken a turn this episode. All right. This is
Doesn't it
supposed to be
usually,
just a quick one about everyone before you buy a lot of photography things. Just really, you don't need to do that. You only need a few simple things to get going because something is better than nothing.
Is that what you thought this was about? Is that what you
People
thought this was
expect us to go off the rails, though. People expect it.
Is that really how you thought this was going to go? All right, y'all. So anyway, I'm done. We got work to do. I got a list with my no-toed shoes.
I need to go see my therapist after going back to a couple years ago. So we're going to work on that.
All right, good.
Samantha's going to therapy. I'm going to list shoes with no feet in them. Libby, I don't know. You got lots to do.
I got to move.
Until next time.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we build a resourceful community of collaborative resellers. Find all the ways to connect with us on consignmentchats.com. Episodes are available on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts. In addition, join our free private Facebook community.